My beloved child, you did not click on this message by accident. You may think it was random, just another video appearing on your screen, but I tell you the truth, there was a whisper in your spirit that led you here. There is something in your heart that has been restless, something heavy, something you have not spoken out loud, and I have come to speak directly into that hidden place. You have been carrying a quiet question inside you. Can I really be forgiven? You smile in front of others. You go through your days as if everything is fine. But when the night becomes still and your thoughts grow louder, the memory returns. The moment you wish you could undo. The words you wish you can take back. The choice that seems to follow you like a shadow. My beloved, I have seen the way your shoulders tense when it comes to your mind. I have felt the weight pressing against your heart. You wonder if I am disappointed in you. You wonder if I have stepped back. You wonder if this message is truly for you, or if it is meant for someone better, someone who has not failed the way you think you have. That is why I am speaking so clearly now. This message is for you, not for a future version of you, not for a perfect version of you, for you exactly as you are in this moment. I know the guilt you have been hiding. I know the regret you replay over and over. I know how you try to silence it by staying busy, by distracting yourself, by telling yourself it does not matter anymore. But deep inside, you still feel it. And you have been afraid that I feel it too in a different way, that I look at you differently now. Listen to me, my beloved child. I am not speaking to expose you. I am speaking to free you. There is a reason the words "I forgive you" are echoing in your life right now. They are not small words. They are not casual words. They are powerful, life-changing words. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is not pretending something did not happen. It is the opening of a prison door you did not realize you were still standing inside. You have been waiting for a sign, waiting for reassurance, waiting for something that tells you it is safe to breathe again. This is that moment. This is the interruption of your spiral of doubt. This is me reaching into your storm of thoughts and saying, enough. Stay with me through this message. Do not turn away because it feels too tender. Do not close your heart because it feels too good to be true. I am about to lift something off of you that you were never meant to carry alone. And by the time we finish this journey together, you will understand that my forgiveness was never far from you. My beloved child, I forgive you. And I am just beginning to show you what that truly means. My beloved child, I saw the moment you regret. I was there when it happened. I was there when the words left your mouth too quickly, when the decision formed in your heart, when the weakness you tried to resist finally overcame you. Nothing about that moment was hidden from me. Not the action, not the thoughts behind it, not even the ache that followed immediately after. I saw it all, and yet I did not turn away. You replay that memory as if I only arrived afterward, as if I showed up once the damage was done. But I was present before it began. I saw the pressure building in you. I saw the exhaustion you were carrying. I saw the confusion clouding your judgment. I saw the fear that made you react instead of trust. You look at that moment and call it failure. I look at that moment and see a hurting child who did not know what else to do. You think I was shocked. You think I was disappointed beyond repair. But my beloved, I am not fragile in my love. Your mistake did not catch me off guard. I am not standing over you with crossed arms, shaking my head. I am the father who stepped closer when you stumbled. I saw your face after it happened. I saw the silence that followed. I saw how your heart dropped into your stomach. I saw the immediate whisper in your mind that said, "You've ruined everything. That whisper was not from me. That voice was not mine. My voice was suffered. My voice was steady. I was already speaking mercy while you were still drowning in shame. There is something you must understand. I do not define you by your worst 5 minutes. I do not reduce your entire life to one chapter. You have done that to yourself, but I have not. When I look at you, I see the whole story. I see your kindness that no one else noticed. I see the tears you cried when no one was watching. I see the battles you won that no one applauded. I see the desire in your heart to do what is right, even when you fell short. Imagine a child learning to walk. The child stumbles, falls, and even bumps their head. Does a loving father shout, "You should have known better"? No. He kneels down, lifts the child into his arms, and says, "Try again. I am right here. My beloved child, that is how I see you. You fell, yes, but you are still learning. You are still growing. And I am still holding you. You keep asking yourself, why did I do that? You search for a deeper flaw within you, something broken beyond repair. But sometimes the answer is simpler than you think. You were tired. You were hurt. You were afraid. You were seeking comfort in the wrong place. That does not make you evil. It makes you human and in need of grace. Do not misunderstand me. I am not ignoring what happened. I am not pretending it did not matter. But I am looking at it through the lens of love, not condemnation. I see the wound beneath the action. I see the insecurity beneath the anger. I see the loneliness beneath the compromise. And I care about healing that root more than replaying the mistake. When you withdrew from me afterward, I felt that distance more than the mistake itself. Not because I was offended, but because you believed you had to hide. You lowered your eyes in prayer. You avoided quiet moments because you thought I would bring it up with disappointment. But every time you pulled back, I was still near. Every time you hesitated to speak to me, I was already listening. My beloved child, the moment you regret is not the end of your story. It is not the headline of your life. It is a single scene in a much larger journey. And I am the author who knows how to redeem every page. I saw it all. I understood more than you realized. And even in that moment, my love for you did not flicker. Not for a second. My beloved child, the weight you have been carrying was never meant to rest on your shoulders this long. You have tried to move forward, yet something keeps pulling you backward. It is not chains anyone else can see. It is not a burden that shows up in your hands, but it presses against your chest. It tightens your breathing. It steals your rest at night. Guilt has a way of becoming an invisible load, and you have grown so used to carrying it that you almost forgot what it feels like to walk freely. You tell yourself that this heaviness is necessary. You believe that if you let it go too quickly, it would mean you do not care enough. You think the weight is proof of your remorse. So you hold on to it, thinking it honors me. But my beloved, I never asked you to punish yourself in order to prove your love. Picture a traveler walking a long road with a backpack full of stones. At first, the stones were meant to remind him to be careful, to learn from where he stumbled. But instead of taking out the lesson and leaving the stones behind, he kept adding more. Soon, his step slowed, his back bent, his joy disappeared. That traveler is you, and the stones are the shame you refuse to release. I did not design you to live bowed down. I created you to walk upright, to breathe deeply, to move with peace in your spirit. Yet guilt has become a constant companion. It whispers that you must carry it a little longer. It tells you that you deserve the ache, It convinces you that laying it down would be too easy. But listen carefully, my beloved child. Forgiveness is not cheap. It is not shallow. It is not ignoring what happened. It is a powerful act of love that breaks the weight off your life. When I forgive you, I am not excusing the wrong. I am removing the crushing burden from your soul. You have infused Vinvidium with Hanuman. Conviction gently guides you back to the right path. It is specific, calm, and hopeful. It says, this is not who you are. Let us adjust. Condemnation, however, is origin endless. It does not point to a better way. It only repeats, you are a failure. You are unworthy. You will always be this way. That voice is not mine. I correct you in love, but I do not trap you in shame. When I speak, I lift your chin. When shame speaks, it forces your head down. Notice the difference. My voice restores. Shame exhausts. The exhaustion you feel lately is not only physical. It is emotional. It is spiritual. Carrying guilt day after day drains your strength. It affects how you see yourself. It affects how you approach me. It even affects how you treat others. When you believe you are unworthy, you shrink back from opportunities. You hesitate to step into joy. You question every good thing that comes your way, wondering if you truly deserve it. My beloved child, you cannot receive peace while gripping shame. Your hands are too full. I am not asking you to pretend the past did not happen. I am inviting you to hand it to me. Let me hold what you were never designed to carry. Let me sort through it. Let me transform it. You have been trying to carry both the lesson and the punishment. I only ask you to keep the lesson. Leave the punishment behind. Imagine placing that heavy backpack at my feet. Feel the strap slide off your shoulders. Feel your spine straighten. Feel your lungs expand with a deeper breath. That is what my forgiveness does. It does not weaken you. It strengthens you. It does not erase growth. It makes growth possible. You are tired because you have been trying to atone in your own strength. But my beloved, you do not have to earn what I freely give. The burden you are carrying is not a badge of honor. It is a weight that is slowing your destiny. Come closer. Lay it down. Let this be the moment you stop punishing yourself and start receiving my mercy. You were never meant to live crushed by what is already forgiven. My beloved child, my love for you was never withdrawn. Even when you felt distant from me, I was not distant from you. Even when you avoided my presence, I did not step away. You measure love by human standards. You have learned that love can be pulled back, affection can grow cold, and approval can disappear when mistakes are made. But my love does not function like that. I do not love you in portions. I do not love you only on your strongest days. You fear that what you did created a wall between us. You imagine that I turned my face aside in disappointment. You think perhaps I folded my arms and waited for you to fix yourself before coming back. But that is not who I am. I am not a father who abandons his child in the middle of the storm. I am the one who steps into it with you. Think of a small child who accidentally breaks something valuable in the house. The child freezes, heart pounding, expecting anger, expecting rejection. They may even hide, afraid of losing their place in the family. But no loving father erases his child from his heart over a broken object. The relationship is greater than the mistake. My beloved, you are not held in my family by your perfection. You are held by my promise. You have asked yourself quietly, did I lose something with God? And the answer is no. You did not lose my affection. You did not lose your place. You did not lose your identity as my beloved child. My love is not a fragile thread that snaps under pressure. It is a covenant, steady and unshaken. There are moments when you felt numb in prayer, when worship felt harder, when silence seemed heavier. You interpreted that as me pulling away. But often it was your own shame building a curtain. I was still there, listening to your sighs, counting your tears, waiting patiently for you to realize that I had not moved. I do not love you because you always make the right choice. I love you because you are mine. That truth does not change when you stumble. It does not weaken when you doubt. It does not fade when you fall. My love is rooted in who I am, not in what you do. If my love depended on your performance, you would live in constant fear. You would wake up wondering if today would be the day you failed beyond repair. But I do not want you living on edge. I want you living secure. Secure in the knowledge that even when you are correcting your path, even when you are growing and learning, you are deeply cherished. You may have experienced love in your life that was conditional. Perhaps you were praised when you succeeded and ignored when you struggled. Perhaps affection was tied to achievement. That pattern has shaped how you see me. But I am not a reflection of those wounds. I am the healer of them. When you ran from me in your guilt, I did not chase you with anger. I watched over you with compassion. When you lowered your eyes, I gently lifted my gaze toward you. When you questioned your worth, I whispered your value over and over again, even when you could not hear it. My beloved child, nothing you have done has disqualified you from my love. Nothing has canceled the promises I have spoken over your life. Nothing has erased the tenderness I feel toward you. If anything, your vulnerability draws me closer, not farther. Come out of hiding. You are not an outsider trying to earn your way back in. You are a son. You are a daughter. And a loving father does not withdraw his heart because of a mistake. My love surrounds you now just as it did before. It has not lessened. It has not weakened. It remains, steady and unchanging, inviting you back into the warmth of my embrace. My beloved child, you punish yourself more than I ever would. Long after the moment has passed, long after I have spoken forgiveness over you, you continue to replay it in your mind as if you are standing in a courtroom where you are both the accused and the judge. You present the evidence. You list your failures, and then you deliver a harsh sentence upon your own heart. You withdraw joy from yourself. You deny yourself peace. You tell yourself you must carry this ache a little longer. But I am not the one holding that gavel. You believe that by being hard on yourself, you are showing me that you understand the seriousness of what happened. You think self-punishment proves sincerity. Yet what you call humility is often hidden self-condemnation. And self-condemnation does not draw you closer to me. It keeps you trapped in a cycle I never designed for you. Grace feels uncomfortable to you because it seems too generous. You are used to earning your way back into good standing. You are used to repairing relationships by paying a price. So when I offer forgiveness freely, without demanding repayment, you hesitate. You question it. You wonder if there is a hidden condition you have not yet discovered. My beloved, there is no hidden condition. When I forgive, I do not attach a silent clause that says, "But remember this forever." I do not keep a ledger to bring up later when you least expect it. I am not interested in keeping you under a cloud. I desire your freedom more than you do. Imagine a child who spills ink across a clean page. The father gently removes the stained sheet and replaces it with a new one. But instead of accepting the fresh page, the child keeps staring at the ruined paper in the trash, weeping over it, insisting on writing only on that damaged sheet. That is what you are doing when you cling to self-punishment. I have already offered you a new page, yet you keep reaching back for the old one. You have said to yourself, I deserve to feel this way. But listen closely. Conviction teaches, and then it releases. Punishment traps and suffocates. I correct you to restore you, not to break you. The sacrifice that covers your mistakes was never meant to be supplemented by your own suffering. You do not add to what has already been completed. There is a subtle pride hidden in refusing forgiveness. It sounds humble on the surface, but deep within it says, my failure is too big. My mistake is too powerful. Even God's mercy cannot fully erase it. That belief places your error above my grace. And my beloved child, nothing is greater than my grace. I am not minimizing what happened. I am magnifying my mercy. There is a difference. When you continue to punish yourself, you slowly begin to define yourself by that mistake. You shrink back from opportunities. You question whether you deserve happiness. You hesitate to step into the blessings I place before you. You treat yourself as if you are permanently marked. But I have not marked you with shame. I have marked you with love. Release the need to repay what has already been covered. Release the belief that peace must be earned. Peace is a gift. Forgiveness is a gift. Restoration is a gift. And gifts are meant to be received, not negotiated. My beloved child, I do not delight in your suffering. I do not require your self-inflicted wounds to prove your loyalty. What honors me is not your endless guilt. What honors me is your trust in my mercy. Lay down the gavel. Step out of the courtroom you built in your mind. You are not on trial anymore. The sentence hath been lifted. The debt has been cleared. And I am calling you not to punishment, but to freedom. My beloved child, I knew you would fall, and I stayed. Before you ever faced that moment of weakness, before the temptation even formed, before the pressure tightened around your heart, I already saw it. I saw the crossroads you would stand at. I saw the choice you would wrestle with. I saw the path you would take. And still, I did not withdraw my hand from your life. You imagined that your failure changed my commitment to you. But my commitment was never built on your flawless performance. It was built on my unwavering love. I am not surprised by your humanity. I am not startled by your struggle. I formed you. I understand your frame. I know where you are strong and where you are fragile. When a father teaches his child to walk, he knows the child will stumble. He does not place the child on their feet expecting perfection. He expects growth. He expects progress. And when the child falls, he does not say, I did not see that coming. He reaches down, lifts the child, and encourages another step. My beloved, your fall did not shock me, but your growth still delights me. You thought perhaps I would step back and say, come find me when you are stronger. But that is not my way. I stayed near you in the moment of temptation. I stayed near you in the moment of decision. I stayed near you in the moment of regret. And I remain near you now. There were whispers in your mind that said, God is tired of you. That was not my voice. There were thoughts that told you, you have exhausted his patience. That was not my heart. My patience is not thin. My mercy is not shallow. I do not love you in short supply. Even when you were walking toward the wrong choice, I was still guiding, still nudging, still offering a way out. And even when you ignored that nudge, I did not abandon you. I do not leave my children alone in their weakest hour. I stay. I watch. I protect you from consequences that could have been far worse than you realize. There are outcomes you will never know about because I shielded you. There were depths you could have fallen into that I quietly blocked. You see your failure clearly, but you do not always see my protection surrounding it. I am not a father who loves you only at your best. I love you in your becoming. I love you in the process. I love you in the learning. And growth is rarely a straight line. It bends. It pauses. It sometimes circles back. But I walk every part of that path with you. You are still becoming who I created you to be. One misstep does not cancel the journey. One fall does not erase your calling. One weakness does not disqualify you from my presence. If I only stayed close to perfect people, no one would stand near me. I stay because my nature is faithful. When you felt ashamed, I did not step away. When you felt unworthy to pray, I was still listening. When you doubted your place in my heart, I was still speaking your name with tenderness. My beloved child, understand this deeply. I saw your fall long before you did, and I chose to love you anyway. I chose to walk with you anyway. I chose to remain committed anyway. My love is not reactive. It is intentional. It is steady. It is anchored beyond your fluctuations. So stop fearing that one mistake has caused me to reconsider you. I do not reconsider my children. I remain. I restore. I redeem. And I am still right here. My beloved child, there is something you must understand about the voice that has been speaking to you. The enemy wants you stuck in shame. He does not need to chain your hands if he can chain your thoughts. He does not need to close doors around you if he can convince you not to walk toward them. Shame is one of his most subtle weapons. It does not always shout. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it sounds like your own inner voice. It repeats your mistake over and over, not to help you grow, but to keep you small. Notice how shame isolates you and tells you to pull away. It tells you to hide. It convinces you that if others truly knew your struggle, they would step back from you. And even worse, it tries to convince you that I have stepped back too. That is its greatest lie. When Adam hid in the garden long ago, it was not because I moved. It was because shame entered his heart. Shame always pushes you into the shadows. It says, cover yourself. Avoid the light. Stay quiet. But I do not operate in hiding. I call you into the open, not to expose you, but to heal you. There is a difference between my correction and the enemy's condemnation. My correction is clear and specific. It gently points to what needs to change and then provides strength to change it. It is filled with hope. It reminds you of who you truly are. Condemnation, however, is vague and heavy. It attacks your identity. It says, you are this mistake. You will never change. You are unworthy. That voice does not come from me. The enemy knows that if he can keep you rehearsing your failure, you will hesitate to step into your purpose. He knows that a confident child of mine is powerful. So if he tries to drain your confidence through shame, he tries to distort your reflection so that when you look at yourself, you see only flaws and not the calling I have placed within you. My beloved child, shame is not holy. It is not spiritual maturity. It is not proof of humility. It is a trap. You have been thinking that staying in guilt keeps you close to righteousness. But lingering in shame keeps you focused on yourself instead of on my grace. It magnifies your weakness and minimizes my strength. It enlarges your failure and shrinks my mercy. That imbalance is exactly what the enemy desires. Listen carefully to how I speak to you. Even now, my tone is gentle. Even now, my words are lifting you, not pressing you down. I am not reminding you of your mistake to accuse you. I am reminding you of my forgiveness to free you. The enemy accuses. I advocate. The enemy repeats the past to paralyze you. I remind you of truth to empower you. The enemy wants you silent and ashamed. I want you restored and confident. You may have noticed how shame steals your joy. It makes laughter feel inappropriate. It makes blessing feel undeserved. It makes worship feel distant. That heaviness is not from me. I do not give joy and then demand that you reject it. I do not offer peace and then require you to live without it. My beloved child, you are in a battle of voices, and you must learn to recognize mine. My voice calls you beloved even when you fall. My voice says, rise again. My voice says, you are more than this moment. Do not partner with the enemy by agreeing with every condemning thought. When a harsh accusation enters your mind, pause and ask yourself, does this sound like the Father who loves me? If it crushes you without offering hope, it is not from me. Step out of agreement with shame. Refuse to let it define your future. You are not called to live in hiding. You are called to walk in light. And I am leading you out of the shadows, one gentle truth at a time. My beloved child, my forgiveness is complete. It is not partial. It is not temporary. It is not something I extend with hesitation. When I forgive you, I do not hold back a small portion of your mistake to revisit later. I do not forgive you today and reconsider tomorrow. My forgiveness is whole, steady, and final. You struggle to understand this because human forgiveness often comes with conditions. People may say they forgive, yet still bring up the past in moments of frustration. They may release you with their words but continue to measure you by what you did. Over time, you have learned to expect forgiveness to be fragile. But my forgiveness did not fracture under pressure. When I say you are forgiven, I am not speaking loosely. I am declaring a spiritual reality over your life. Imagine a heavy rain falling over dry, cracked ground. The dust that once clung to everything is washed away. The air becomes clear. The earth softens. That is what my forgiveness does within your soul. It cleanses. It refreshes. It restores what felt brittle and dry inside you. And once the rain has fallen, you do not need to keep searching for the old dust. It has been carried away. You keep wondering if there is a limit. You ask yourself quietly, what if I fail again? What if I repeat the mistake? What if I disappoint God twice? My beloved, my forgiveness is not exhausted by your questions. It is not worn down by your fears. I am not counting the number of times you need grace. I am committed to your transformation, not to tallying your errors. There is a difference between living carelessly and living forgiven. I am not inviting you into carelessness. I am inviting you into confidence. When you know you are fully forgiven, you no longer obey out of fear. You obey out of love. You no longer try to earn closeness. You rest in it. My forgiveness is not fragile glass that shatters if touched too often. It is a deep river. You may stumble into it again and again, but it does not run dry. It continues to flow, washing, renewing, strengthening you each time. You have been asking for a sign that you are truly released. Let this be that sign. If I had not forgiven you completely, you would not feel this gentle drawing toward me. You would not sense this invitation to breathe again. My spirit would not be speaking peace into your heart right now. I do not whisper comfort over someone I plan to reject. When I remove your sin, I do not set it aside on a shelf. I remove it as far as the horizon stretches beyond your sight. I choose not to hold it against you. I choose not to define you by it. I choose to see you through the lens of redemption. You must also understand that my forgiveness includes your future. I see the path ahead. I see the growth still unfolding. I see the strength you are developing through this very struggle. Forgiveness is not just about erasing the past. It is about empowering your tomorrow. Stop fearing hidden punishment. Stop scanning your life for signs that I am secretly displeased. I do not operate in hidden revenge. I discipline and love when necessary, but I do not linger in resentment. When the lesson has been learned, I move forward with you. My beloved child, let this truth settle deeply into your spirit. There is nothing left for you to repay. Nothing left for you to prove. Nothing left for you to carry in fear. You are forgiven fully. You are forgiven freely. You are forgiven completely. My beloved child, stop reopening what I have closed. There are wounds that I have already touched with healing, yet you keep pulling at the edges as if checking to see if they are truly sealed. You return to old memories, replay old conversations, reread old messages in your mind, and examine them again under a harsher light. Each time you do this, you disturb the peace I placed over that chapter. Imagine a surgeon who carefully stitches a wound. The work is precise. The healing has begun. But the patient keeps tearing at the stitches, afraid the injury was not treated properly. Instead of allowing restoration, they delay it. My beloved, when you continually revisit what I have forgiven, you are reopening something I have already declared finished. I understand why you do it. You think that by analyzing the past one more time, you will finally find the lesson that guarantees you will never repeat it. You think that by feeling the pain again, you are proving you care. But growth does not require endless self-interrogation. Wisdom does not come from reliving shame. It comes from receiving truth and walking forward. Every time you say, "But what if you step back into a room I have already locked behind you?" Every time you rehearse the details, you give fresh life to something I have already laid to rest. You treat the past like an open case when it has already been closed. There is a difference between remembering with gratitude and remembering with accusation. When I bring something to your attention, it is gentle and purposeful. It leads to insight and then to peace. But when you bring it up again and again with a tone of self-blame, it drains you. It steals your focus from the present and your hope for the future. My beloved child, you cannot walk confidently into what I have prepared for you while constantly glancing over your shoulder. You cannot fully embrace joy while secretly holding on to regret. The future I am guiding you toward requires your attention. It requires your trust. It requires your willingness to let the past remain in my hands. Think of a door that has been shut firmly. On the other side are echoes of mistakes, misunderstandings, and sorrow. In front of you is a hallway filled with light, opportunity, and growth. Yet you keep turning around, placing your hand on the doorknob, tempted to step back inside. I am gently placing my hand over yours and saying, "Do not go back in there. I have already cleared that room." You fear that if you stop revisiting it, you might forget the seriousness of it. But you will not forget what you need to remember. The lesson remains even when the shame fades. The wisdom stays even when the pain lessens. You do not need to preserve the wound in order to preserve the growth. There are blessings ahead that require emotional space. There are relationships that require a lighter heart. There are assignments that require confidence. If you keep carrying the past as if it is still active, you will feel unworthy of stepping into those blessings. But I am telling you clearly now, the case is closed. When the enemy tries to reopen it, answer with truth. Say, this has already been forgiven. When your own thoughts try to drag you back, remind yourself that I have spoken peace over the chapter. My beloved child, trust my closure. Trust my declaration. Stop reopening what I have already sealed with mercy. Walk forward. My beloved child, I am restoring what you thought was ruined. There are areas of your life you quietly labeled as damaged. Dreams you placed on a shelf. Relationships you assumed could never be repaired. Confidence you believed was permanently shattered. You looked at the aftermath of your mistake and decided that certain doors would never open again. But I am not limited by what appears broken. I am the one who rebuilds from fragments. You see the crack in the foundation. I see the opportunity to make it stronger than before. You see the torn fabric. I see the place where gold can be woven through the seam. Nothing is wasted in my hands. Not your tears. Not your regret. Not even your failure. I redeem what you surrender to me. You thought that because something fell apart, it was disqualified from beauty. But sometimes what falls apart does so because it was not built on truth to begin with. And when I rebuild, I build with clarity, with strength, with wisdom you did not yet have before. Do not mistake delay for destruction. Do not mistake correction for cancellation. I am not erasing your future. I am refining it. The areas where you feel the most regret can become the very places where compassion grows inside you. The mistakes that humbled you can become the foundation of humility that protects you later. The failure that once embarrassed you can become the testimony that frees someone else from isolation. I am not only forgiving you, I am restoring you. Even now, I am aligning conversations you do not see. I am softening hearts you think are closed. I am creating opportunities you thought had vanished. You are not as far behind as you imagine. You are not as disqualified as you fear. I am still writing your story. Trust me with the broken pieces. Place them in my hands instead of staring at them in yours. I specialize in resurrection. I breathe life into what appears lifeless. I restore hope where you assumed only regret could grow. And as I restore you, my beloved child, I am also using this message to restore others. There are souls scrolling in silence, carrying shame just like you were. There are hearts on the edge of giving up, waiting for a whisper of mercy. When you choose to support this mission, you become part of that restoration. You become a sower of light into dark places. I am stirring generosity in you for a reason. This is not about supporting a channel. This is about releasing my word to reach the one who feels forgotten. As it is written, I give seed to the sower and bread for food, and I multiply what is given. When you release a super thanks, when you step into membership, when you give through the PayPal link placed in the description, and even shown as a QR code in this video, you are planting into fertile ground. Feel this in your spirit. Lord, I want to help you reach them. That desire is not random. It is my invitation. Do not delay the obedience of generosity. What you sow in faith becomes a harvest of healing in someone else's life. I see your gift before you even give it, and I bless it. I breathe increase over your home, over your finances, over your family as you step forward. This is a prophetic act, not a casual donation. So now, support now. Step into this flow of restoration with me. My beloved child, you are not your worst moment. You have allowed one chapter to speak louder than the rest of your story. You have taken a single scene and stretched it across your entire identity. When you think about yourself, that memory rises first, as if it has the authority to define you. But it does not. You are not the worst thing you have done. If I defined you only by your lowest point, you would never rise. If I reduced you to a mistake, I would be ignoring the beauty I carefully placed inside you long before that moment ever happened. I see you as a whole person. I see the kindness in your heart. I see the loyalty you show. I see the way you care deeply, even when you do not express it perfectly. Imagine a white garment with a single stain. The stain may catch your eye first, but it does not change the fabric itself. The garment is still valuable. It is still worthy of care. And when it is cleaned, the stain no longer has power to define it. My beloved, your mistake was a stain, not your identity, and I have already washed you clean. Yet you keep introducing yourself to yourself by your failure. You wake up remembering it. You approach new opportunities expecting it to repeat. You hesitate to step forward because you believe you are flawed at the core. But your core was designed by me, and what I create is not worthless. Your identity is not the one who failed. Your identity is my beloved child. You are the one I chose, the one I called, the one I formed with intention. Before you ever made that mistake, you had purpose, and that purpose did not evaporate because of one wrong decision. I do not revoke destiny every time you stumble. There is a difference between acknowledging a mistake and becoming it. A mistake is something you did. It is not who you are. When you blur that line, you start living beneath your calling. You start expecting less from yourself. You start shrinking your dreams to match your shame. I am not asking you to deny what happened. I am asking you to see it in proper proportion. It was a moment, not a lifetime. It was a choice, not your character. It was a lesson, not your label. When I look at you, I do not say, "There goes the one who messed up." I say, "There goes my child, still growing, still learning, still loved." My view of you is not distorted by disappointment. It is anchored in truth. You may have had people in your life who never let you forget your errors. Perhaps they reminded you of them during arguments. Perhaps they treated you as if your past was always hovering over you. That has shaped how you see yourself. But I am not those voices. I do not weaponize your history against you. Instead, I remind you of who you are becoming. You are becoming wiser. You are becoming more compassionate. You are becoming more aware. You are becoming stronger in areas that once felt weak. That is growth. That is evidence that you are not defined by failure, but refined by experience. My beloved child, lift your head. Speak to yourself differently. When the old label tries to rise, replace it with truth. Say, "I am forgiven. I am loved. I am still chosen." Align your thoughts with my voice. You cannot fully embrace the future if you are clinging to an identity rooted in the past. Let the old label fall away. Let the false name dissolve. Step into who you truly are. You are not your worst moment. You are mine. My beloved child, even now, I call you closer. Not after you perfect yourself. Not after you prove your strength. Not after you erase every trace of doubt. I am calling you closer in this very moment, exactly as you are. You think distance is safer. You think staying slightly back protects you from disappointing me again. But distance does not protect love. It only delays intimacy. I am not standing far away, waiting for you to bridge the gap. I am the one who closes the distance. You have felt the hesitation in your spirit. When you begin to pray, there is a pause. When you think about worship, there is a quiet resistance. You wonder if you are worthy to approach me so soon after your mistake. But my beloved, if you wait until you feel worthy, You will always remain at a distance. Worthiness is not the door to my presence. Love is. Picture a child who has fallen into mud. The child feels embarrassed and stays outside, afraid to enter the house. But the father stands at the doorway and says, "Come inside. Let me clean you." The child's dirt is not a reason to stay away. It is the reason to come closer. That is how I see you. You do not clean yourself before coming to me. You come to me so I can wash you. I miss nothing about you. I notice the quiet sighs. I notice the moments when you almost speak to me but stop halfway. I notice the way your heart longs for connection even while your mind questions it. And I am not offended by your hesitation. I understand it. But I will not let you remain in it. Come closer. Come with your questions. Come with your fears. Come with the parts of you that still feel fragile. You do not have to present a polished version of yourself. I am not impressed by performance. I am moved by honesty. You think I am tired of hearing about the same struggle. But I am patient. I am not frustrated by your process. Growth takes time. Healing takes repetition. Sometimes you need to bring the same wound to me more than once before you fully release it. That does not weary me. There is a depth of peace waiting for you in my presence that you cannot find by standing at a distance. When you draw near, you will feel the tension in your chest begin to soften. You will sense clarity replacing confusion. You will realize that the closeness you feared is actually the place where you are safest. My beloved child, intimacy with me is not a reward for perfection. It is the environment where transformation happens. The closer you come, the more you understand my heart. The more you understand my heart, the less you fear my correction. The less you fear, the more freely you grow. Do not let shame convince you that you must observe from afar. Do not let guilt tell you that you belong in the background. I did not create you for distant religion. I created you for relationship. Step toward me again. Speak to me without rehearsing your words. Sit in silence with me without trying to prove anything. Let yourself be held by my presence. I am not asking you to crawl back in apology. I am inviting you to walk back in confidence. My arms are not crusted. They are open. Come closer, my beloved child. My beloved child. I speak peace over your mind. I see how your thoughts have been racing. I see how one memory leads to another, how one fear opens the door to many more. At times, your mind feels like a room filled with noise, every voice competing for attention. Regret speaks. Fear speaks. Doubt speaks. And in the middle of that noise, you struggle to hear me clearly. So I am quieting the storm now. Peace is not the absence of memory. It is the presence of my assurance. When I speak peace, I am not erasing your past. I am calming your reaction to it. I am reminding your heart that you are safe with me. You have been overthinking conversations, replaying facial expressions, wondering what others truly think about you. You lie awake some nights, staring into the darkness, wishing your thoughts would slow down. You tell yourself to relax, but your body stays tense. Your breathing becomes shallow. Your chest feels tight. My beloved, that constant tension was never my gift to you. I do not plant torment in your mind. I do not stir anxiety to teach you lessons. My voice brings clarity. It brings steadiness. Even when I correct you, it is firm but calm. It does not spiral you into panic. Right now, I am inviting you to take a deep breath. Not because everything around you is perfect, but because I am present. Let your shoulders lower. Let your jaw unclench. Let your breathing slow. You are not under threat. When anxious thoughts rise, they often exaggerate the consequences. They whisper, "You have ruined everything. This will never get better." Everyone sees your flaw, but those thoughts are not rooted in truth. They are rooted in fear, and fear distorts reality. My peace restores perspective. You may not be able to control every thought that enters your mind, but you can choose which ones you entertain. When a condemning thought appears, do not immediately accept it as fact. Pause. Ask yourself if it aligns with my voice. If it produces hopelessness and heaviness, it is not from me. I am speaking something different over you. I am speaking stability over your emotions. I am speaking rest over your nights. I am speaking focus over your scattered thoughts. You are not losing control. You are not unraveling. You are healing. Sometimes your mind replays the past because it is trying to protect you from repeating it. But protection does not require constant fear. Wisdom does not require endless worry. You can learn from the past without living in it. Imagine a calm lake at sunrise. The surface is smooth, reflecting the sky clearly. That is what I desire for your mind. When the waters are still, you can see truth more clearly. You can hear my guidance more easily. My beloved child, let me settle your thoughts. When anxiety tries to grip you, whisper my name. When regret tries to shout, breathe deeply and remember my forgiveness. You are not alone inside your mind. I am there with you. Peace is not something you must chase. It is something I release. Right now, I release it over you, over your thoughts, over your imagination, over your memories, over your future. Be still, my child. I am here. My beloved child, let my mercy write your story. You have been reading your life as if the hardest chapter is the final one. You look at what happened and assume it has permanently shaped the ending. But you forget something important. I am the author, and I am not finished writing. There are pages you wish you could tear out, sentences you wish you could erase, moments you wish you could edit. But I do not waste ink. Even the lines written in pain can be transformed into meaning when placed in my hands. You see a mistake and think it ruined the narrative. I see a turning point. In every powerful story, there is a moment where everything seems lost. The hero falters. The path becomes unclear. Doubt rises. But that moment is not the end. It is the place where growth deepens, where character is refined, where strength is forged quietly beneath the surface. My beloved, your life is no different. If your story had no struggle, it would have no depth. If it had no tension, it would have no testimony. The chapter that once embarrassed you may become the chapter that equips you to help someone else. The very thing you regret could become the bridge that allows another heart to feel understood. When I rewrite, I do not pretend the earlier pages did not exist. I weave them into redemption. I turn sorrow into compassion. I turn failure into wisdom. I turn weakness into dependence on me. That is the beauty of mercy. It transforms. It does not discard. You have labeled certain parts of your life as ruined. But ruined in your eyes does not mean ruined in mine. Sometimes what feels like a collapse is actually a reconstruction. I remove foundations that were unstable so that I can build something lasting. You may not have understood it at the time, but I was protecting your future. Do not close the book on yourself. Do not decide that this is as far as you will go. Do not reduce your future to match your past. I am still writing chapters of healing, chapters of joy, chapters of restoration that you have not yet imagined. You may wonder how I will do it. You may struggle to see how broken pieces can form something beautiful. But trust me with the process. You do not need to understand every detail to believe in the outcome. Think of a tapestry being woven. From the back, the threads look tangled and confusing. Colors seem misplaced. Patterns are unclear. But from the front, the design is breathtaking. Right now, you are looking from behind the tapestry. You see knots and loose ends. I see the completed image. My mercy is the thread that ties it all together. When you surrender your regrets to me, I do not store them away in a dark corner. I integrate them into your growth. I allow them to soften your heart. I use them to teach you empathy. I allow them to shape your character in ways comfort never could. My beloved child, your story is not defined by what went wrong. It is defined by my grace working through it. Lift your eyes beyond this chapter. There are pages ahead filled with light. There are moments of laughter that will surprise you. There are relationships that will feel safe again. There are victories that will remind you how far you have come. Let me rewrite the narrative you have been telling yourself. Let my mercy be louder than your memory. I am not finished with you. Not even close. My beloved child, the cross was enough. You keep trying to add something to what has already been completed. You keep thinking there must be more you need to do, more you need to suffer, more you need to prove before you can fully accept forgiveness. But listen to me carefully now. The price has already been paid. When I gave myself in sacrifice for you, it was not partial. It was not temporary. It was not a down payment requiring installments from your guilt. It was full. It was final. It was sufficient. You live as though there is still a balance due. You wake up carrying invisible debt, believing that peace must be earned back slowly over time. But the account hath been settled. There is no outstanding charge against your soul. The cross was not a gesture. It was a declaration. It declared that your mistakes would never have the final word. It declared that shame would not own you. It declared that separation would not define your relationship with me. It declared that love would go further than your failure. When you continue punishing yourself, you are acting as if the sacrifice was incomplete. But my beloved child, nothing about it was lacking. Every regret, every hidden sin, every future weakness was already seen and already covered. You do not strengthen the sacrifice by adding your suffering. You simply exhaust yourself. There is a reason I said it was finished. Finished means complete. Finished means nothing more is required. Finished means you are not responsible for paying again for what has already been redeemed. You fear that if you fully accept this, you might take grace lightly. But true understanding of sacrifice does not produce carelessness. It produces gratitude and produces humility. It produces a deeper desire to live aligned with love. Imagine someone paying a debt so large you could never repay it. Would you respond with indifference? No. You respond with awe. You would respond with appreciation. You would live differently, not because you fear punishment, but because you understand mercy. That is what I desire for you. The cross was enough for your past, is enough for your present, and it will be enough for your future. Stop looking for hidden conditions. Stop waiting for a delayed consequence. Stop scanning the horizon for signs of rejection. There is no hidden storm coming from me. There is no secret resentment in my heart. There is only love that chose you, even knowing everything about you. When I look at you, I do not see unpaid debt. I see redeemed purpose. I do not see an unfinished transaction. I see a child fully restored. The sacrifice was not weak. It was powerful enough to break chains you cannot even see. My beloved child, rest in what has already been done. You do not need to climb higher to reach my forgiveness. You do not need to descend into deeper sorrow to prove sincerity. You do not need to strive to make yourself worthy. The worth was declared over you long ago. Let the weight fall away. Let the striving end. Let the truth settle deep within you. It was enough. And because it was enough, you are free to live not as someone trying to repay love, but as someone transformed by it. My beloved child, I do not keep records of your wrongs. You live as if there is a file in heaven with your name on it, pages filled with every mistake, every misstep, every hidden thought. You imagine that I flip through those pages when you pray, reviewing your history before deciding how to respond to you. But that is not how I love. When I forgive, I release. I am not an accountant of your failures. I am a father invested in your future. The moment forgiveness is given, the record is clear, not stored for later, not archived for reference. Alert. You struggle with this because you remember. Your mind replays what I have already erased. You recall the details vividly, the tone of your voice, the look on someone's face, the exact words spoken. And because you remember, you assume I must remember it the same way. But my forgiveness is not limited by your memory. When I say I will remember your sins no more, I am not speaking of forgetfulness like human forgetfulness. I am speaking of choice. I choose not to hold them against you. I choose not to treat you according to them. I choose not to measure your present by your past. A choice is rooted in love. You may have experienced people who say they forgive but later bring the offense back into conversation. They store it quietly, waiting for the right moment to remind you. That has shaped how you see forgiveness. You assume it always lingers in the background. But my forgiveness does not operate like that. If I held your past over your head, you would never walk freely. If I referenced your mistakes each time you approached me, you would shrink back in fear. That is not the relationship I desire with you. Imagine standing in a courtroom where your charges are read aloud. The evidence is undeniable. A verdict seems certain. But then the judge declares that the record has been wiped clean. Not reduced. Not minimized. Wiped clean. And then the judge refuses to mention those charges ever again. That is the power of my mercy. You are the one who keeps bringing the file back to the table. You say, but God, remember when I respond, I have already released that. You say, but I failed again. And I answer, you are still my child. You keep pointing to the erased pages, and I keep pointing to your future. My beloved child, stop living as though there is a hidden record waiting to be reopened. There is no silent list of reasons I might withdraw from you. There is no secret tally increasing with every imperfection. When you come to me, you come as forgiven. When you speak to me, you speak as loved. When you walk forward, you walk without a file trailing behind you. This does not mean I ignore growth. I still guide you. I still shape you. I still teach you. But I do so without accusation. I correct you without condemnation. I lead you without dragging your past behind you like a chain. You are not defined by what has been erased. Release the fear that one day I will bring it all back up. Release the anxiety that forgiveness has an expiration date. It does not. My love for you is not conditional on a flawless record. It is rooted in a redeemed one. Walk forward knowing there is nothing written against you. The pages are clean, and your story continues in freedom. My beloved child, forgive yourself now. You have received my forgiveness in words, yet you hesitate to receive it in your heart. You nod when you hear that you are forgiven, but deep inside, you still hold something against yourself. You speak kindly about others who fail, but when it comes to your own mistakes, you are merciless. Why do you extend grace outward but withhold it inward? There is a quiet resistance inside you. It says, if I forgive myself too quickly, I will become careless. If I let myself off the hook, I will not grow. But self-forgiveness is not carelessness. It is agreement with my mercy. When you refuse to forgive yourself, you are not proving maturity. You are resisting the healing I am offering. I have already declared you forgiven. When you continue to condemn yourself, you place your judgment above mine. You are saying, even if unintentionally, that your verdict matters more than my grace. But my beloved, I am the one who sees fully. I am the one who understands every detail, every weakness, every pressure that led to that moment. And if I choose mercy, who are you to deny it to yourself? Self-forgiveness does not mean pretending it did not matter. It means accepting that it has been covered. It means releasing yourself from a punishment that is no longer required. It means stepping out of the prison cell you locked from the inside. You have been replaying conversations in your head, wishing you could respond differently. You have been imagining alternate endings to situations that are already finished. You tell yourself, I should have known better. Maybe you should have. But growth often comes through experience. And now you do know better. Let the lesson remain. Let the shame go. There is humility in admitting you were wrong. But there is pride hidden in refusing to move forward. Pride says, I must pay for this. Grace says, it has already been paid. Pride clings to guilt because it feels like control. Grace surrenders to mercy. You are not meant to carry both repentance and self-hatred. Repentance brings clarity and change. Self-hatred brings paralysis. One leads you forward. The other keeps you stuck. My beloved child, look at yourself through my eyes for a moment. See the sincerity of your heart. See the tears you shed. See the desire within you to grow. That is not the heart of someone hardened. That is the heart of someone being transformed. Would you speak to a friend the way you speak to yourself? Would you tell them they are hopeless, unworthy, permanently flawed? No. You would comfort them. You would remind them of their value. You would encourage them to try again. Why, then, do you deny yourself the same compassion? Forgive yourself. Release the bitterness you have aimed inward. Stop rehearsing insults against your own soul. You are not helping yourself become better by tearing yourself down. You grow stronger when you stand on truth, not when you kneel under condemnation. Say it quietly if you must. I release myself. Let that statement echo inside you. Let it soften the tight places in your chest. Let it loosen the grip of regret. My forgiveness was never meant to stop at your ears. It was meant to settle into your heart. Forgive yourself now, my beloved child. Agree with my mercy, and step into freedom. My beloved child, I am healing the root, not just the surface. You have focused so much on the mistake itself that you have barely stopped to ask what was beneath it. You have looked at the action, the words, the decision, and judged yourself for what you did. But I am looking deeper. I am looking at the wound that made you vulnerable in that moment. Every behavior has a root. Sometimes it is fear of rejection. Sometimes it is loneliness you never admitted. Sometimes it is exhaustion from trying to be strong for too long. Sometimes it is an old scar from years ago that still aches when touched. You judged yourself for falling, but I saw the limp in your spirit long before you stumbled. I am not interested in trimming leaves while the root remains sick. I want to heal what is underneath. You may have learned to survive by building walls. You may have developed habits that once protected you but now harm you. You may react quickly because you are used to defending yourself. You may seek comfort in places that do not truly satisfy because you are trying to fill a quiet emptiness inside. My beloved, I am not angry at the symptom. I am tending to the source. Healing takes patience. It requires honesty. It requires you to let me gently uncover areas you would rather avoid. But I do not expose to shame you. I reveal to restore you. When you bring your pain to me instead of hiding it, something shifts. The same wound that once drove unhealthy choices begins to lose its power. The insecurity that whispered lies starts to quiet. The old memory that shaped your reactions begins to soften. You are not simply someone who made a bad choice. You are someone who has been carrying unseen burdens. And I am compassionate toward those burdens. There may be memories from childhood that still echo in your heart. Words spoken over you that planted doubt. Moments where you felt unseen, unheard, unloved. Those experiences shaped parts of you. They influenced how you cope. They influenced how you protect yourself. But they do not have to define your future. I am reaching into those deeper places now. You may feel emotions rising that surprise you. Sadness you thought you moved past. Anger you buried. Grief you never processed. Do not be afraid of those feelings. They are signs that healing is happening. When infection surfaces, it is because cleansing has begun. I am not rushing you. I am walking with you through this gently. You do not have to untangle everything at once. You only have to stay open to my touch. Imagine a tree whose fruit has been bitter. You could pluck off the bad fruit again and again, but if the soil is poisoned, the bitterness will return. I am changing the soil of your heart. I am nourishing it with truth. I am watering it with love. I am removing lies that have choked your growth. My beloved child, the mistake you regret is not just something to forgive. It is something to learn from. It reveals where you need healing, not where you are hopeless. You are not broken beyond repair. You are being restored from the inside out. Trust me with the deeper work. I am not only removing guilt. I am renewing your heart. My beloved child, your tears were prayers. There were nights when you could not form the right words. Nights when your thoughts were tangled and your heart felt too heavy to explain. You lay there staring into the darkness, and all you could do was feel the ache. You wondered if silence meant distance. You wondered if I was listening when no clear sentence left your lips. But I heard you. Every tear that slipped down your face carried a message. Every sigh that escaped your chest reached me. You do not have to speak perfectly for me to understand you. I read the language of your heart fluently. When regret washed over you, when shame tightened your throat, when sorrow made your breathing uneven, I was not watching from far away. I was close, closer than you realized. I was counting every tear, not to measure your weakness, but to honor your sincerity. There is something sacred about tears of repentance. They are not signs of failure. They are signs of a heart that still cares. A hardened heart does not weep. A distant soul does not ache over wrongdoing. The fact that you felt sorrow is evidence that my spirit is alive within you. You mistook your tears for proof of how far you had fallen. I saw them as proof that you were still connected to truth. When you cried, "Why did I do that?" I heard not condemnation but longing. Longing to be better. Longing to align with who you truly are. Longing to feel clean again. That longing itself was a prayer rising from deep within you. Sometimes the most powerful prayers are not spoken aloud. They are felt. They rise from brokenness, from humility, from vulnerability. And I respond to those prayers with tenderness. You may have wiped your tears quickly, embarrassed even in private. You may have told yourself to stop being emotional. But do not despise the softness of your heart. It is not weakness. It is sensitivity to my voice. I was present in those quiet moments when you thought no one understood the depth of your regret. I was there when you whispered apologies into the air. I was there when you promised yourself you would try again. I was there when you questioned if I could still love you the same. And I loved you through every tear. My beloved child, your sorrow did not push me away. It drew me closer. I am near to the broken-hearted. I do not recoil from your pain. I cradle it. There were times when you felt alone in your room, but heaven was attentive. Your tears were collected, not ignored. Your emotions were witnessed, not dismissed. Do not think that because you cried, you are weak. Sometimes tears are the beginning of healing. They wash away pride. They soften hardened places. They open the door for mercy to enter more deeply. You do not have to hide your emotions from me. You do not have to pretend strength. If you need to cry again, cry in my presence. If you need to sit quietly, sit with me. Your tears were not wasted. They were prayers. And I have already answered them with forgiveness, with peace, and with a love that has never left your side. My beloved child, I am turning this into wisdom. What you once saw only as a mistake, I am shaping into understanding. What you once labeled as failure, I am transforming into strength. Nothing you have walked through with me is wasted. Not even the parts that made you bow your head in regret. You have gained something through this that you did not have before. You have gained awareness. You have gained sensitivity. You have gained a deeper understanding of your own vulnerabilities. That knowledge is not meant to shame you. It is meant to prepare you. Wisdom is often born in places where pride once stood. Before, you may have believed you were stronger than you truly were in certain areas. Now you know where you need boundaries. Now you know where you need support. Now you know which environments weaken you and which ones strengthen you. That is wisdom forming quietly within you. Wisdom is not simply information. It is experience refined by humility. Imagine gold being purified in fire. The heat is uncomfortable. The process is intense. But the impurities rise to the surface so they can be removed. When you walked through this painful moment, something surfaced in you. Patterns you did not notice before. Fears you had ignored. Desires that needed realignment. And now that you see them clearly, you can grow beyond them. You are not the same person you were before this happened. There is a tenderness in you now that was not there before. There is caution in you now that protects rather than restricts. There is empathy in you now for others who struggle. You no longer look at people who fall with quick judgment. You understand the complexity of weakness. But compassion is wisdom. The enemy wanted this to become your identity. I am using it to become your teacher. You may still feel the sting when you think about it, but even that sting reminds you to stay aligned with truth. It reminds you how fragile certain choices can be. It reminds you to depend on me rather than on your own strength. That dependence is not weakness. It is maturity. My beloved child, you feared that this moment would disqualify you. Instead, it has deepened you. You feared it would shrink your future. Instead, it is refining it. There are paths ahead that require discernment. There are decisions ahead that require clarity. The wisdom you are gaining now will guide you then. What once embarrassed you will become the quiet strength behind your choices. Do not rush the process of reflection. Let me finish shaping what has begun. Do not only focus on what went wrong. Also notice what has changed within you since then. You are more aware, more grounded, more careful in your speech, more thoughtful in your actions. That is growth. Wisdom is not loud. It is steady. It is the calm voice inside that says, "Choose differently this time." It is the gentle reminder of lessons learned. It is the quiet confidence that you can face similar situations and respond with greater clarity. I am not only forgiving you, I am equipping you. My beloved child, trust that this season is producing something valuable inside you. One day, you will look back and see not just the pain, but the transformation. What you once feared would break you is becoming part of what strengthens you. I am turning this into wisdom, and wisdom will guard your steps in the days ahead. My beloved child, you are still chosen. You quietly wondered if your mistake disqualified you. You asked yourself questions you barely admitted out loud. Does God still want to use me? Have I stepped outside of His plan? Did I miss my chance? Those questions have lingered in the background of your thoughts, especially in moments of silence. Let me answer you clearly. You are still chosen. Your calling was not built on your perfection. It was placed within you by my intention. I did not choose you because you would never stumble. I chose you knowing you would need grace along the way. My plans for you were never fragile. You think in terms of cancellation. One wrong move and everything falls apart. But I work in redemption. When you turn back to me, I realign your steps. I restore direction. I strengthen what felt weakened. I do not tear up the blueprint of your life every time you falter. Look at your own journey. Even in the midst of regret, you still felt a pull toward me. You still felt conviction. You still felt the desire to grow. That pull is evidence that I have not removed my hand from you. Being chosen does not mean being flawless. It means being loved with purpose. There were people throughout history who stumbled deeply, yet I still worked through them. They doubted, they failed, they misjudged situations, and yet I did not abandon them. I shaped them through their weakness. I strengthened them through their repentance. Their greatest moments of impact often came after their deepest moments of humility. Why would you think you are different? My beloved child, your failure did not surprise me. It did not cause me to search for someone else. It did not make me reconsider your value. If anything, it has made you more aware of your need for me, and that awareness will make you stronger in the assignments ahead. You are not on probation in my kingdom. You are not temporarily suspended from purpose. When you repented, you stepped back into alignment. You did not have to fight your way back in. You simply returned to the path. You may feel unworthy to speak about me, to serve, to encourage others. You may think, who am I to talk about faith when I struggled? But that struggle has given you empathy. It has given you understanding. It has given you authenticity. People are not strengthened by perfect stories. They are strengthened by redeemed ones. Do not shrink back from the opportunities I place before you. Do not assume someone else is more qualified. I do not choose based on flawless records. I choose based on willing hearts. Your heart is still willing. You still care. You still desire truth. You still long to walk closely with me. That is enough for me to continue shaping you, guiding you, using you. My beloved child, lift your eyes beyond the mistake and look at the calling again. It is still there. The gifts I placed in you are still alive. The compassion in you has deepened. The wisdom in you has grown. but humility in you has matured. You are not disqualified. You are refined. And I am still writing your purpose into the days ahead. Walk forward knowing that my choice of you has not been revoked. It has been reaffirmed. You are still chosen. My beloved child, my grace is bigger than your sin. You have measured your mistake carefully. You have weighed it in your mind, examined its consequences, and magnified its impact. But you have not measured my grace with the same attention. You have allowed your failure to feel enormous, like a mountain standing between us. Yet you have forgotten that my mercy is an ocean. A mountain may look tall from where you stand, but it is still small compared to the horizon of the sea. You think your sin has depth. You think it runs deep into your history, into your habits, into your character. But my grace runs deeper still. There is no place within you where my mercy cannot reach. There is no corner of your past that is outside my ability to redeem. Sometimes you look at yourself and think, I should have known better. And perhaps you should have. But knowledge alone does not eliminate weakness. That is why grace exists. Grace steps in where strength falls short. You not misunderstand me. I am not minimizing what happened. I am placing it in perspective. When you compare your mistake to my love, it shrinks. When you compare your guilt to my sacrifice, it loses its power. You have been looking at your sin up close, magnifying every flaw. Now look at my grace up close. See how wide it is. See how steady it is. My grace is not a thin layer covering something ugly. It is a transformative force. It does not simply hide your sin. It overcomes it. It does not barely outweigh it. It overwhelms it. Imagine standing at the edge of the ocean. You drop a stone into the water. The splash is noticeable for a moment, but within seconds the surface smooths again. The ocean remains vast and unchanged. Your mistake with the stone. My grace is the ocean. You feared that your failure would define your relationship with me. But my love is not so fragile. It does not tremble when you falter. It does not shrink when you struggle. It expands to meet you in your need. There are times when you have felt ashamed even to look upward in prayer. You felt too aware of your flaw. But I was never intimidated by it. I was not startled. I was not confused about who you are. I see the whole picture. I see your desire to grow. I see your efforts. I see your repentance. And I see the power of my grace covering it all. My beloved child, do not exalt your sin above my mercy. Do not make your mistake larger in your mind than my sacrifice. When you do that, you place unnecessary weight on yourself. My grace is not reluctant. It is abundant. It flows toward you even now. It strengthens you where you are weak. It restores you where you feel broken. It renews your confidence where shame once lingered. If you could see your life from my perspective, you would not see a towering wall of failure. You would see a journey marked by growth, by lessons learned, by mercy applied again and again. Your sin may have been real, but my grace is greater. Let that truth settle in you. Let it quiet the fear that you have gone too far. Let it silence the lie that you are beyond repair. You are not beyond grace. You are surrounded by it. And my grace will always be bigger than your sin. My beloved child, walk forward without fear. You have spent enough time looking backward. You have examined the past. You have felt the sorrow. You have received forgiveness. Now it is time to move. Not cautiously as if danger is hiding behind every corner, but confidently, knowing that I go before you. Fear had been whispering to you, what if you fail again? What if you repeat the same mistake? What if nothing has really changed? That fear tries to freeze you in place. It convinces you that staying still is safer than stepping forward. But staying still out of fear is not wisdom. It is paralysis. You are not who you were before. You have grown. You have learned. You have become more aware. The version of you that made that mistake is not the same version of you listening to my voice now. Do not underestimate the transformation that has already begun inside you. Fear exaggerates the likelihood of failure and ignores the strength you have gained. It paints the future as a repetition of the past. But I am not leading you in circles. I am leading you onward. When a child learns to ride a bicycle, they may fall more than once. After a painful fall, fear creeps in. The child hesitates, wondering if they should try again. But if they never get back on, they never discover balance. My beloved, you cannot allow one fall to keep you from riding again. I am walking with you. You are not stepping into the future alone. When temptation appears, I will provide awareness. When confusion arises, I will provide clarity. When weakness tries to resurface, I will provide strength. You are not relying on your willpower alone. You are leaning on my spirit within you. Stop anticipating disaster. Stop assuming that every opportunity carries hidden danger. Yes, be wise. Yes, be thoughtful. But do not be afraid. There is a difference between discernment and dread. Discernment listens calmly and chooses wisely. Dread panics and avoids growth. My beloved child, you are capable of making better choices now. Not because you are perfect, but because you are more aware. You understand your vulnerabilities more clearly. You recognize warning signs earlier. That is progress. Fear will try to tell you that if you step into joy again, something will ruin it. It will try to convince you that happiness is fragile and temporary. But I am not giving you joy as a test. I am giving it as a gift. Walk into new relationships without assuming they will break like the old ones. Walk into new responsibilities without assuming you will fail. Walk into new opportunities without carrying the shadow of your past like a prediction. You are not destined to repeat your lowest moment. I have placed wisdom inside you. I have placed my spirit within you. I have surrounded you with reminders of truth. You are equipped. The future is not a trap waiting for you. It is a path unfolding before you. And I am not sending you ahead without guidance. I am beside you. Take the step you have been avoiding. Have the conversation you have been postponing. Embrace the opportunity you have been doubting. Move forward not with arrogance, but with trust. Trust that I am faithful. Trust that you are growing. Trust that what you learned was not in vain. My beloved child, do not let fear steal the future that grace has secured for you. Walk forward. I am with you. My beloved child, I am making you new. Not just improved. Not just slightly adjusted. New. There is a quiet transformation happening within you that you may not even fully recognize yet. You have been so focused on what went wrong that you have not noticed how much has changed. But I see it clearly. The way you think is shifting. The way you respond is softening. The way you seek me is deepening. You are not returning to who you were before the mistake. You are becoming someone stronger than you were before it. When a forest experiences fire, it looks devastated at first. The ground is dark. The trees seem lifeless. But beneath the surface, something remarkable begins to happen. Certain seeds only open in intense heat. New growth emerges from what appeared destroyed. In time, the forest becomes healthier than before. My beloved, The fire you walk through is not the end of your beauty. It is the beginning of renewal. I am not restoring you to an older version of yourself. I am shaping you into someone more grounded, more compassionate, more aware of your need for me. You feel different because you are different. There is a humility in you now that was not there before. There is a reliance on my strength that replaces your former self-confidence. There is a sensitivity to my voice that grows stronger each day. These are signs of newness. Do not long for who you used to be. That version of you had blind spots. That version of you did not yet understand certain truths. That version of you had not experienced the depth of my mercy in the way you have now. Why would you want to return to that? I am not patching you up and sending you back unchanged. I am renewing your heart. You may still see familiar weaknesses, but they no longer have the same grip. You may still face similar temptations, but you do not approach them the same way. You are more cautious, more prayerful, more aware. That is evidence of renewal. My beloved child, newness often begins quietly. It does not always announce itself with dramatic change. Sometimes it shows up in small decisions. Choosing patience instead of anger. Choosing honesty instead of hiding. Choosing prayer instead of panic. Those choices are signs of a new heart forming within you. Do not dismiss the small shifts. Every time you choose differently, you reinforce the new foundation I am building. Every time you respond with wisdom instead of impulse, you strengthen the new identity taking shape inside you. You are not defined by what you were. You are defined by who you are becoming. And you are becoming renewed. The dawn does not arrive all at once. It begins with faint light on the horizon. Slowly, steadily, darkness retreats. That is what is happening within you. The light is rising. The old shadows are losing their hold. My beloved child, trust the process of renewal. Do not rush it. Do not compare it to anyone else's journey. I am working uniquely in you. I am shaping your heart according to my design. You are not broken beyond repair. You are being made new. And the new version of you will walk with greater freedom, greater wisdom, and greater peace than you ever thought possible. My beloved child, others will see my light in you. You may feel unqualified to shine. You may think your past disqualifies you from being an example to anyone. But it is not perfection that reflects my light most clearly. It is transformation. There are people around you right now who are silently struggling with the same kind of guilt you once carried. They smile publicly but wrestle privately. They wonder if they have gone too far. They question if forgiveness is truly possible for them. And when they look at you, they will not see someone flawless. They will see someone honest. Someone softened by mercy. Someone changed by grace. It is powerful. Light does not shine because it has never known darkness. It shines because it exists within it. The depth of my work in you will become visible in your compassion, in your patience, in your understanding of others' weaknesses. Before, you may have judged quickly. Now you pause. Before, you may have spoken sharply. Now you speak gently. Before, you may have lacked empathy. Now you recognize pain in others because you have felt it yourself. That shift is my light reflecting through you. You do not have to preach loudly to shine brightly. Your story, when shared at the right time, will free someone else from isolation. When you say, "I struggled too," it will break shame off another heart. When you say, "I was forgiven," it will give someone hope that they are not beyond grace. The enemy wanted your mistake to silence you. I am turning it into a testimony. You thought your failure would make you smaller. Instead, it has made you deeper. and depth is what allows my light to shine more steadily. Superficial faith flickers at difficulty, but your faith glows even after fire. My beloved child, there will be moments when someone confides in you about their regret. Do not shrink back. Do not disqualify yourself from speaking encouragement. You will have words to offer that you did not have before. You will have understanding that cannot be taught in comfort. Your healed wounds will become bridges. When people see the peace in your eyes where shame once lived, they will notice. When they observe your calm where anxiety once ruled, they will wonder. When they hear you speak hope where you once felt hopeless, they will be drawn to the source. And that source is me. I do not waste pain. I redeem it and then use it to bring healing beyond you. What began as something personal will ripple outward into something purposeful. You do not need to seek a platform. Simply live transformed. Let your life be evidence of forgiveness. Let your choices reflect wisdom gained. Let your humility reveal grace received. There is light in you now that was not visible before. Not because I just placed it there, but because you have allowed me to refine what was clouded. My beloved child, do not hide what I have done in you. Do not minimize your growth. Do not pretend the journey meant nothing. It has shaped you into someone who can carry hope with authenticity. Others will see it. They will see that you are not perfect, but you are peaceful. Not flawless, but forgiven. Not proud, but purposeful. And through you, they will begin to believe that their story can be redeemed too. My beloved child, the past no longer defines you. It may have shaped you. It may have taught you. It may have humbled you. But it does not own you. It does not carry authority over your identity. It does not get the final word over your future. You have been introducing yourself to life through the lens of what happened. When new opportunities arise, you filter them through old memories. When new relationships begin, you measure them against old mistakes. When new doors open, you hesitate because you still see yourself as the person you were back then. But that person is not who you are now. The debt has been paid. The lesson has been learned. The healing has begun. What more does the past require from you? Nothing. Imagine standing in a courtroom where the verdict has already been declared. Forgiven. Case closed. The judge has struck the gavel. The file has been sealed. Yet you remain seated in the defendant's chair, unwilling to stand up and leave. You glance around as if waiting for someone to call you back. But no one is calling you back. The case is over. My beloved child, the only thing keeping you tied to that courtroom is your own reluctance to walk out. You fear that if you fully step away from the past, you might forget what it taught you. But wisdom does not disappear when shame dissolves. The lesson remains without the burden. You can carry insight without carrying guilt. There are moments when something small triggers the memory, a song, a place, a conversation. For a second, the old identity tries to whisper again. It says, "Remember who you are." And you must answer firmly, "I remember who I was. But I am not that anymore." Growth means allowing old versions of yourself to pass away. You are not the same person who made that choice. You are more aware, more grounded, more prayerful, more cautious in ways that protect you rather than confine you. Why would you continue labeling yourself by a version of you that no longer exists? The past is a chapter, not the title of your life. When you define yourself by your worst moment, you shrink the vastness of who you truly are. You reduce a complex journey into a single snapshot. But I see your life as a tapestry, woven with many threads: joy, struggle, faith, doubt, courage, repentance, growth. The dark thread does not erase the beauty of the whole design. My beloved child, lift the label off yourself. You are not the one who failed. You are not the one who messed up. You are not the one who almost ruined everything. You are redeemed. You are growing. You are guided. The past has served its purpose. It has taught you. It has refined you. It has pointed you back to me. But it no longer gets to define your direction. When you step into tomorrow, do not drag yesterday behind you. Walk lightly. Walk freely. Walk with your head lifted. You are not carrying a permanent mark of disgrace. You are carrying a testimony of grace. The past may be part of your story, but it is not your identity. You are mine. And who I say you are matters more than who you used to be. My beloved child, receive my embrace. You have heard my words. You have walked through the truth of forgiveness. You have felt the layers of shame begin to loosen. But now, beyond understanding, beyond explanation, I want you to simply rest in my arms. There are moments when teaching is necessary. There are moments when correction is needed. But there are also moments when all that is required is closeness. This is one of those moments. Imagine a weary child running into the arms of a loving father after a long day of struggle. No speeches. No analysis. Just warmth. Just safety. Just the steady rhythm of a heartbeat that says, "You are home." That is what I offer you now. You have been carrying tension in your body for longer than you realize. Your shoulders have been tight. Your thoughts have been alert, almost bracing for disappointment. Even after hearing about forgiveness, part of you still stands guarded, unsure if it is safe to relax completely. It is safe. I am not holding you at a distance. I am not embracing you cautiously. I draw you close without hesitation. There is no trace of reluctance in my heart toward you. My beloved child, you do not have to strive for this closeness. You do not have to earn this embrace. It is not a reward for getting everything right. It is a reflection of my nature. When you feel overwhelmed by emotion, when tears rise unexpectedly, that is not weakness. That is your soul responding to love. You were not created to live in constant tension. You were created for relationship. Let yourself feel held. Let yourself feel secure. You may not see me with your physical eyes, but my presence is real. When your breathing slows and your chest feels lighter, that is my peace wrapping around you. When the noise in your mind quiets, that is my comfort settling over you. There is nothing you need to say in this moment. No apology to repeat. No promise to make. Just receive. You have been so focused on doing better, doing differently, doing more, that you forgot how to simply be. Be loved. Be forgiven. Be accepted. In my embrace, you are not measured by performance. You are not evaluated by productivity. You are not compared to anyone else. You are simply my beloved child. Ask to hear. Let the truth sink deeper than your fears. Let the warmth of my love melt the last fragments of shame clinging to your heart. You are not being tolerated. You are being cherished. If you could see how I look at you right now, you would not see disappointment. You would see tenderness. You would see delight. You would see a father who is proud not because you are perfect, but because you are growing. My beloved child, lean into me. Let my strength support you. Let my love steady you. This embrace is not temporary. It does not fade when you walk away from this moment. It remains with you. You are not alone. You are not rejected. You are held. My beloved child, trust me with tomorrow. You have spent so much time looking backward that the thought of looking ahead feels unfamiliar. The future once seemed bright, then your mistake dimmed it in your mind. Now you stand at the edge of new days, wondering what they will hold. You ask yourself quietly, will I be strong enough? Will I stay faithful? Will I fall again? Place those questions in my hands. Tomorrow is not a test waiting to expose you. It is a gift waiting to unfold, and you will not step into it alone. The same grace that met you in your failure will walk with you into your future. You do not need to see every detail to move forward with confidence. Trust is not built on knowing everything. It is built on knowing me. Have I not been faithful to you already? When you stumbled, I lifted you. When you hid, I called you closer. When you wept, I listened. When you doubted, I reassured you. Why would I abandon you now that you are rising again? The fear of tomorrow often grows from the memory of yesterday. You imagine the future repeating your past. But tomorrow is not bound to your old patterns. You are not trapped in cycles you cannot break. Growth has changed you. Wisdom has strengthened you. My spirit is guiding you. There will be choices ahead. There will be moments of testing. There will be crossroads. But you will not face them as the same person who once fell unaware. You will face them as someone refined. Trust does not mean you will never feel uncertainty. It means you will not let uncertainty rule you. When new opportunities appear, do not shrink back because you fear repeating mistakes. When blessings arrive, do not sabotage them because you think you do not deserve them. When joy rises, do not brace yourself for it to disappear. Receive what I place before you. You cannot control every circumstance, but you can lean into my guidance. When you feel unsure, pause and listen. When you feel tempted, seek my strength. When you feel overwhelmed, remember how I carried you before. My beloved child, tomorrow is not your enemy. It is a canvas I am still painting. You do not have to anticipate disaster. You do not have to predict failure. You do not have to overanalyze every step. Walk with awareness, yes. Walk with humility, yes. But walk with hope. There are blessings ahead that you have not imagined. There are moments of peace waiting for you. There are relationships that will feel safe. There are victories that will quietly remind you how far you have come. Do not sabotage your future by fearing it. Place it in my hands. Say quietly in your heart, I trust you with what comes next. That simple surrender releases pressure from your shoulders. You were never meant to carry the weight of tomorrow alone. I hold your future. I guide your steps. I correct you gently when needed. I protect you in ways you do not always see. Trust me with tomorrow, my beloved child. It is safe in my hands. My beloved child, live like you are forgiven. Do not only say you are forgiven. Do not only agree with it in theory. Live from it. Let it shape the way you wake up in the morning. Let it influence how you speak to yourself. Let it guide how you treat others. Forgiveness is not just a statement. It is a new posture. When you truly receive forgiveness, you stop shrinking in rooms where you belong. You stop apologizing for existing. You stop expecting rejection at every turn. You walk with quiet confidence, not because you are flawless, but because you are free. Freedom looks different on you. It looks like laughter that is not forced. It looks like prayer that is not hesitant. It looks like worship that is not weighed down by guilt. It looks like conversations where you are not constantly bracing for judgment. Living forgiven means you no longer introduce yourself to life through your shame. You introduce yourself through your identity as my beloved child. There will be moments when the old voice tries to return. It will whisper, "Remember what you did." And you must respond, "I remember what he did for me." Give your focus from your favor to my faithfulness. When you make small mistakes in the future, and you will because you are still human, you not spiral back into old patterns of self-condemnation. Address them quickly. Learn from them. Bring them to me. And move forward again. That is what living forgiven looks like. It is not perfection. It is responsiveness. Living forgiven also changes how you treat others. When someone disappoints you, you will remember how deeply you were forgiven. When someone stumbles, you will remember how I lifted you. You will extend grace more readily because you know what it feels like to receive it. Do not weaponize your past against yourself anymore. Instead, let it soften your heart toward others. There is a lightness that comes when you stop carrying shame. It allows you to dream again, to plan again, to believe again. It allows you to pursue what I place in your heart without constantly second-guessing your worthiness. You are not an imposter in your own calling. You are not pretending to be redeemed. You are redeemed. So stand differently. Speak differently. Think differently. When you look in the mirror, do not search for the person you used to be. Look for the growth. Look for the peace. Look for the strength that has formed quietly within you. My beloved child, the world does not need a perfect version of you. It needs an authentic one, a healed one, a humbled one, a forgiven one. Let your decisions reflect your freedom. Choose integrity because you are loved, not because you are afraid. Choose honesty because you value truth, not because you fear punishment. Choose courage because you trust me, not because you trust yourself alone. Live like the chains are gone, because they are. Live like the debt is cleared, because it is. Live like the past is finished, because it hath been closed. You are forgiven. Now walk in it. My beloved child, we have walked through this together. You came here carrying questions, carrying guilt, carrying the quiet weight of regret. You wondered if forgiveness was truly possible for you. You feared that perhaps you had gone too far, disappointed me too deeply, or damaged your future beyond repair. But look at you now. You had heard my heart. You have felt my mercy. You have seen that your mistake was not the end of your story. I have reminded you that I saw it all and stayed, that I did not withdraw my love, that my forgiveness is complete, that I do not keep records of your wrongs, that my grace is greater than your sin, that you are still chosen, that I am making you new. Let these truths settle deeply within you. You are not defined by your worst moment. You are defined by my love. You are not trapped in yesterday. You are walking into tomorrow with me. You are not disqualified. You are redeemed. When the old memories try to rise again, remember this journey. When shame tries to whisper, answer it with truth. When fear tries to slow your steps, remember that I go before you. My beloved child, I forgive you, not partially, not reluctantly, completely. And now, as you step forward in this freedom, I am inviting you into something greater than yourself. There are countless hearts still drowning in silence, still believing they are beyond forgiveness. When you choose to support this mission through Super Thanks, by becoming a member, or by giving through the PayPal link in the description, and even through the QR code in this video, you are sowing seeds of mercy into their lives. As I have said, those who sow generously will reap generously, and I breathe increase over every seed you release. Feel this stirring within you. Father, I want others to hear this too. That desire is my invitation to you. Do not ignore it. Act on it. Your giving becomes light in someone else's darkness, oil that keeps this lamp burning, bread that feeds a hungry soul. I see your obedience before you move, and I bless it. Step forward now and sow into this work of restoration. My beloved child, receive my final blessing. May peace guard your mind. May confidence steady your steps. May joy return to your heart. May wisdom guide your decisions. May love overflow from your life. You are forgiven. You are restored. You are mine. Amen.